Welcome to That Digital Take. I'm your host, Tori Webster. This episode of That Digital Take is brought to you by Chatter's Hair Salon, proudly Canadian and your go-to destination for all things hair for over 30 years. Whether you're refreshing your color, trying a bold new style, or stocking up on your favorite products, Chatter's has you covered. And right now, they're treating my listeners to an exclusive offer. Get 20% off your retail purchase online with code DIGITAL20 at checkout. Some exclusions apply. Don't miss out. Visit chatters.ca and use code DIGITAL20 and give your hair the care it deserves. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. I've been drinking an energy water, so I'm coming in hot with a lot of hot takes. You know what I've been realizing a lot too is when I'm in conversation with people, whether guests or when I'm looking back at episodes, that how nice it is that this is called That Digital Take, because I'll say to people, give me your take on that. It's like I thought about it, even though this had so many rebrands getting me to That Digital Take. But now I really like the name. Anyways, very much an aside, I digress. Welcome back. Today, we are going to be tackling some hard-hitting news. No, I'm kidding. But I have been reading the news a lot more. I don't know if you guys are into that, but I've decided that reading articles is making me smarter. And I have now subscribed to the New York Times. I understand, like, you have to pay for these things, but, like, everything is a subscription now. And I'm like, yo, can I not pay like $5.99? But also I want to be well read and I want to know what's going on in the world. So I'm paying a New York Times subscription and reading all of the good things. Anyways, that's kind of what inspired a little bit of the topic of the week today, because I had come across an article that was talking a lot about productivity. Me, again, not being able to speak on the pod. So we will tackle that. But first, a quick little recap where we're at in life. How are you guys liking that all of these episodes are very up to speed? All the content you're getting is like in the moment. You're hearing about things as they happen. We're really only kind of a week ahead of each episode. So all of the cadence now is caught up. And I think it's really nice. You guys are getting up-to-date information, which is great. This week, I'm off to Los Angeles. I'm excited. The last time I was in LA, I think I alluded to this in one of the earlier episodes, but it was when all of the really terrible fires were taking place in Los Angeles. So I'm excited to go back now with a more refreshed new lens and check in on all my friends that have been out there and just the communities that have been affected and just see how everything's going. So I'm excited to go back to LA. A place very beloved in my heart. Then after LA, I'm going to the JUNO Awards. And you guys know I love the JUNO Awards. This is not my first rodeo. I love that red carpet. It's really fun. This year, the red carpet is actually an orange carpet because it's being sponsored by Skip the Dishes, who just happened to be one of my favorite clients. So they said, Tori, come be on the orange carpet with us. And I said, duh. So that's going to be so fun. And I get to go to the Junos with them. And also my second favorite brand, which is bubbly water. So really living the dream and working with some epic brand partners at the Junos, and just brands that I naturally use in my life all the time. So I'm really excited about that. I order on Skip. Like, I have an issue with cooking. So like food delivery and me, best friends. So I order on Skip all the time. And then obviously bubbly water is just the vibe. I should have had my little bubbly can on here today. I was chatting with the team the other day. They're like, what are your favorite flavors? And I was like, how can you even choose? But I guess lime and pineapple, like if I really had to choose, and cherry, which I think would be an unpopular opinion, but I do love the cherry flavor. After that, I go to Coachella. So we're really we're gearing up, guys. This is like, we were in down season. It's almost like I'm a football player. It's like I go from preseason and then like Super Bowl season. So now we're heading towards the Super Bowl season, which is like back-to-back red carpets, looks, train, plane, another party, Coachella, hit the clubs. This is where we're at. And I'm really excited for that. So as you guys know, I think Coachella actually is one of my full circle moments of the beginning of the pods of last year. One of the first episodes I kind of tackled was breaking down my experience at Coachella. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and find that episode. If not, I'm sure I'll have more Coachella secrets revealed this year after my experience. And not to be shouting out all my brand partners today, but I will be working with Heineken out at Coachella, which I'm also very excited about because they've just launched Heineken Silver, which is a new beer. So we're going to be out there shooting content for Heineken Silver, which I'm so pumped about. And I think it's kind of giving like Sway House vibes. They're inviting a bunch of influencers to stay in a house together. Like, if you don't think I'm coming back from this weekend with some stories, just wait. Typically, I don't like live in a house with other influencers, so very curious what that will be like. But I'm pumped. Listen, I say yes to opportunities as they come along. So that's where we're at. That's the updates. Nothing too crazy, or maybe just crazy enough, just depending how you look at it. So I won't keep you. Let's jump into the topic of the week today. Have you ever felt like you're always kind of working, but also never fully working? You're answering emails while scrolling Instagram, editing a video while watching YouTube, and somehow the whole day just sort of blurs together. Well, same. That is what has inspired the topic of the week. But this year, I am done. I am done with that life. I am talking about building real productivity into your day. A day with contrast, if you will. So let's get into it. That is the topic today, building productivity and contrast into your life as an entrepreneur. Now, some personal insight to begin. I have obviously fallen into the trap that all of us have fallen into at some point, which is, it's the endless loop of the in-between. It's low quality work and then low quality rest. And the way I found this out, genuinely, I don't mean to give you the middle finger, but it was the Aura ring. Hilarious. I should probably... There, I've switched my finger to be more kind to you and hopefully not end up in like a YouTube problem. I feel like they're really strict on YouTube with stuff like that. So the Aura ring. Now, I learned so much about mostly, I will say, my recovery when it came to the Aura ring. So obviously this tracks my sleep. It tracks my workouts. It tracks breathing patterns. It tracks a million different things, to be honest. But one of the areas where I was seeing a recurring issue, I guess, like in my day-to-day life, was that I wasn't recovering during the day. It would be like I would have a great sleep and the Aura ring would be like, you had an amazing sleep, but you may still need to take it easy today because it shows you have not fully recovered from yesterday's high peaks and pits. And the whole idea was that like in the daytime, I'm not recovering, which apparently is actually really important. Like, of course, we know we do our best recovery at night while we're sleeping, but there is something to be said about daytime recovery while you're awake. That could come in many different forms for different people, but what I'm noticing with the Aura ring is it tends to come from, for me, moments of meditation. So like truly taking moments of calm, moments of deep breaths, moments away from screens, to journaling, like almost like numbing activities where you just feel a bit more centered and calm. Cooking, like for everyone, it could be different things, right? But it's finding those moments of recovery in your day and actually leaning into them. So I decided today we're going to be looking at breaking down a productivity system that basically eliminates the half work mode and helps you be more efficient and then, of course, ultimately feel more well-rested. So number one, I thought I would identify the problem at large. And to me, this is the always kind of working cycle. And I put it under this cycle because as an entrepreneur, I mean, everyone that is entrepreneurial will struggle with this, but it's like you have a really hard time shutting it off. So that means you're always kind of connected. You're always kind of checking notifications, refreshing your emails, scrolling, emailing. The list goes on and on and on. So because of this, you never feel fully off. But then you also never feel fully on in the same breath, which ultimately leads to burnout. So it's this horrible in between, always on, never fully off. Like it's like your button, you're turning a button and you're just always somewhere in the middle, which is like painful. Now, because of this, work ends up feeling sluggish and you're obviously always constantly switching tasks. And I am the worst for this. Like, I don't know if I'm a little bit ADHD. I think I actually am, is the truth of the matter. Obviously unmedicated and undiagnosed, but the vibe I get is like if I'm not hyper focused on something, I can very easily be like, oh, well, I better do a load of laundry. Oh, I better call my mom. Oh, I better just immediately. Do you ever have that situation where you're like writing an email and then halfway through you're like, I just had another idea, but I can't even remember what it was and I was meant to execute on something else? That's living in the in-between, not really ever knowing what the next step is, not ever really fully putting all your energy in one place. And I think that entrepreneurs specifically tend to think more about hours in a day versus more productivity. And kind of my argument here in this episode is that in reality, it's really about how focused those hours actually are. Maybe you don't need to be working 10 hours a day, but let's say you were working less time at a more high-paced, focused brain power potentially could lead to much better productivity in your day-to-day life. Okay, we've identified the problem, but I'm not here to just identify problems. I'm here to give you solutions. I'm in a crazy mood today, guys. Okay, the solution, number 2, building contrast into your day. So I alluded to this at the beginning. The power move being contrast, okay? Instead of always kind of working, aiming for extremely high contrast in your day. So intense work, which people like researchers deem it deep work, deep focus, deep work. Theories say you really only need 4 to 5 hours of deep focus a day to feel productive. I actually think this is true. Like if you really just gave yourself 4 to 5 hours a day and you were like, you have to get this work done, I guarantee you're going to be more productive. So this means intentionally slowing down as well. So taking obviously the 4 to 5 hours of deep work, but then taking an hour of genuine guilt-free rest. I should repeat that. That's very important. Genuine guilt-free rest, because that's where we mess up, right? In our off moments, we're still somehow twinkling along about other work that we didn't complete. And then we're like, oh shit, I still have to write that email. And then that means your now genuine rest is no longer genuine rest. And that's actually following into, again, the middle in between torture chamber. Okay. So let's define intense work. We have the 4 to 5 hour rule that we kind of just spoke about. So this means setting clear distraction-free work blocks. I like 90 minutes. Again, maybe it's the ADHD in me, but whether it's an alarm, whether you're setting yourself 90 minutes, batching similar tasks together. So dedicating one session to emails, dedicating another to editing. And again, I'm saying this from a perspective of a creator, but like, let's say I have 2 Instagram reels that have to be edited, as opposed to editing an Instagram reel, getting up, going to do a load of laundry, making breakfast, coming back, editing another reel. I just say, nope, I've got 90 minutes. I'm going to edit both reels. Once those are in the bag and uploaded into the drive, I can go make breakfast. And I think there could be a level of reward system in this too, which I haven't really outlined in today's episode, but it is worth mentioning. Like sometimes we are more motivated by a reward system. So if for you 90 minutes feels like a long block, maybe you start with 60 minutes and then you say, after 60 minutes, I'll reward myself with real rest, which might be 30 minutes of reading a chapter of a book. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's being very strategic about where your time is going and your output of energy, which will hopefully trigger more positive data on the Aura ring. Okay. I mentioned this, use a timer if you feel like that's helpful, or turn off all notifications. This is a huge one. Airplane mode can be your absolute best friend. We all get it. We're in flow and all of a sudden, ping, ping. Oh, mom's calling. Oh, dad's calling. Oh, my boyfriend's calling. Oh, my friend wants to get dinner tonight. It immediately draws us out of the moment. Right before I started filming this episode, I got like a high stress work text. It's like I'm immediately brought out of what I'm trying to accomplish and immediately brought into a whole other issue that I do not have the time right now to solve. So it's like I'm learning my own lessons. I always tell you guys I learn as I go. This is a lesson for me. When I come into the studio, it should be airplane mode only. Goodbye outside world. I'm here to film. I'm here to be productive. This is my commitment to myself and to my filming. Whatever it might be, right? So for you, airplane mode might also be as helpful. Okay, create a physical work context shift. So this might mean dedicated workspace or noise canceling headphones, or maybe for you, a specific playlist. Now, again, potentially my ADHD, I'm actually not someone that works very well with music. I'm actually really jealous of people that can do that. But for me, that is a silent work room. So going into my office and just having absolute peace and quiet, maybe having a peppermint tea. Again, like do whatever reward system feels right to you to get the work done, but just set those time limits and be like, I'm committing until this is finished and then I can move on to something else. All right, now switching gears, the intentional slow mode. So this is the deep rest that we were referring to. No half distractions. So this is, again, the doom scrolling, the constant refresh of the email. You have to pick a true off mode activity like I was referring to. What is that for you? And identify it. Is it a walk? For me, I would consider a walk somewhere in between because I love a podcast. So I guess that is off, but it's also on in some ways because I always use that as a form of inspiration or somewhere where I also like to think about my work under that context. So for me, I would consider a walk just healthy for the body, but it does kind of fall in that medium zone where it's not fully rest and it's not fully work. Again, you can have both, but I think just identifying true rest and true off mode, what that means for you. For me, true off mode might be like a visit to a spa or reading a book or time journaling, like I said. So it's figuring out what that means for you and being really clear about that with yourself. And don't lie to yourself. Like if you know that you're not going to read a chapter of a book, don't be like, that's my off. Like, no, if your off is watching an episode of Severance or an episode of great TV, amazing. I think that can be true for certain people. So it's just being honest with yourself and figuring out those expectations. Okay. Have a non-negotiable shutdown routine. This is hard, man. Even I can't say I'm perfect at this, but let's say, for example, you were like, at 6 p.m., my work is over. I'm going into full Tory rest mode. I'm going to like call a friend, pick up a glass of wine, hang out with someone, whatever it might be, watch TV, read a book. What is that for you? But I do think having an off switch and knowing when to turn it on and off is so important. It's interesting, like it reflects in our sleep. And again, I don't mean to be like data, but it's like I see all the things that affect my sleep in a week. And this includes eating dinner too late, which again goes back to the original thing, which is not having a strict enough routine. Like literally digestion is as simple as like throwing off our routine in a week. The second, of course, alcohol we know is like the number one effect of the Oura ring. Like if you have even one glass of wine, that can affect the way that you sleep and your productivity the next day. And I like a glass of wine as much as the next person, but it's like being potentially more strategic about that relationship and being like, if my ideal work routine is to be productive for 4 hours in the morning, maybe you're definitely saying no to that glass of wine at night because it's going to keep you up and you're going to have a higher heart rate. You're not going to fully recover. And then we're back to square one of like not fully recovered, not fully rested. So you see how this could be like a pattern, right? There's so many things that play into it. Or taking a walk too close to bedtime and your heart rate is elevated. Or watching a scary movie too close to bedtime and your heart rate is elevated. All of these things play into it. So having a nighttime routine, I mean, our Queen Mel Robbins, the Let Them theory, all of that good stuff, all of her theories, like she advocates so much for a strong morning and strong nighttime routine. It sets you up for success. So don't take it from me, take it from experts. Okay. Train yourself to tolerate doing nothing. This is so hard because again, ADHD. This is like the theme of the episode. I have ADHD. Building habits and being okay with absolute rest. I am bad at this. I am constantly thinking about the next idea, thinking about where I could go next, what I could do next, what I could build next, what I could create, what I could edit, what I could pitch. Like it never ends. So I think all of us, and this is part of our phone addiction, like there's so many different subcategories to this level of productivity that I'm hoping to have in these coming months. But I think what plays into this is so many different topics. Like one, the addiction to the phone. Like I obviously struggle so much to like put the phone away at night. And it's like, I don't need to be absorbing people's lives at 9 p.m. as I'm just settling into my evening. Or I don't need to look at my notifications first thing in the morning and have that be the first thing that my brain absorbs. Like creating these patterns, I know it seems almost superficial, but it's not. Like it creates such a better dynamic in your life. And then not only that, you feel better and you're more productive, which ultimately would probably lead to more money. So all of it positive. Okay. Number 3, the habit loop, which again, I've alluded to, how to make this stick. And that's the number one question, right? Your schedule should have structure, but it should also have flexibility. And I think for me, this is going to be kind of what I use as my benchmark moving forward. So take it or leave it, but I do think it's good advice. Start small. So instead of setting out 4 to 5 hours of deep work a day, maybe it's 2. Like maybe you wake up in the morning, you make your coffee and you say, okay, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm doing emails. 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm going to edit. And then at 11 a.m., do a check-in and be like, okay, do I need a moment of genuine rest? Do I need a moment to read a chapter of a book or go on a walk around the block? Or can I do 1 more hour of deep work? And you can have those honest conversations with yourself. And really the big unlock for me is what is the big unlock for me? The big unlock for me is realizing how much I was living in the in-between. Editing, but then also just like refreshing on my phone someone's Instagram post. Like, of course, that's breaking into my productivity levels. One, it's also ruining parts of my own creativity because when you're in flow, that's when your best work happens, when you're in flow. And I think the only way to get there is through the deep work, taking away all the distractions and being like, no, you're not allowed to like call your best friend right now. No, you're not allowed to like scroll and update your Instagram account. Like, no, take all that away, focus on what's at hand, execute, and then enjoy moments of the in between. And I almost would want to put social media in its own category. It's like you have deep work, deep rest, and time for social media. And that should be time blocked. Like maybe you say, okay, for like, what's your screen time like? For me, I have to be on social media for my job, but like maybe I say only 20 minutes every 2 hours, which would be enough time to like get up to speed on all the news, see what people are updating, see what all the brands are doing, see what's happening, and then put it away again. So again, creating space. Okay. Then there's the accountability hack. So telling a friend or using an app to track your focus. Now, obviously, I've referred to the Aura Ring, which would be a great tool if any of you guys are looking for that deeper insights, or just the old-fashioned way. Call a friend and say, listen, I want to do 2 hours of deep work. I'm going to call you in 2 hours, and I'm going to tell you that I like haven't spoken to anyone in 2 hours, and I've put my head down and done the work. The next, defining success on a daily. And what does that look like for you? To me, now it's not going to be hours worked. I feel like I used to look at people and be like, well, if they work 9 to 5, like they must be absolutely killing it. They must be getting so much work done. I mean, we learned in COVID that wasn't true because like one, we realized people were more productive when they were working from home and doing basically what I'm talking about, which is cutting out moments in their day to be more strategic about how they're using their time. And then on the flip, as opposed to looking at hours worked, I'm going to look at how intensely did I focus and how intensely did I rest? And was it fully on both ends? And defining that as success and what productivity then means to me. And I talked a little bit about rewarding, the rewarding system. Part of this, and this is what I kind of want to end on, because as I was going through this episode, I realized how much this final piece ties into my day-to-day life, and it's missing sometimes. And this is fuel. You literally have to eat. And I know this seems crazy to say, like, you have to eat. It's like, duh. But no, when you get into flow and you're editing or you're filming or you're doing emails or you're just doom scrolling, it could be high highs, low lows. And you look up and you're like, it's 3:00 and I'm not eating a thing today. Okay. Well, my idea is no one has had a brilliant idea on an empty stomach. Okay. We need to fuel people. So this is part of also my new intentions, is just being really clear, like waking up, whatever it might be, protein smoothie, eggs, whatever floats your boat, but just like getting the fuel in, working, and then taking those real breaks. Like if it's lunch, get lunch, eat. You will have a more productive afternoon if you fuel your body. Not just consuming caffeine, not just like downing 7 coffees and being like, I'm off. I've had my Starbucks. I'm good. Because we've all fallen into that trap. Like I just get obsessed with the Americano. I think it's all I need. I haven't had a sip of water in 5 hours, and then you're on death's door. Okay. So we just need to be aware of these things. Okay. All right. Some closing takeaways. So to recap, productivity is not about working longer. It's about working smarter and then resting better. It takes 2 things, work and rest. Okay. We can't just be like the hustle workforce anymore. We're eliminating the blurry. No more half work, no more half rest, okay? So here's my challenge to all of you after this week's episode. I want you to take this away for a week, okay? Do the 2 hours of intense work, do the 4 hours of intense work, and truly distraction-free work. And then, on the flip, do the intentional slowdown mode. Go to a yoga class, call a friend, read a book. And then I want you to let me know if you feel the difference in your life. Leave a comment, DM me, hit me up with your thoughts, share your own struggles or your own productivity, because I would love to hear it. And it's funny because I've been getting some really nice messages from, I don't know like why people, like I love that people DM me personally. I think it's so nice. And someone DM'd me just yesterday being like, I'm loving your podcast series. And she had given me some takeaways that were so positive that she had gotten from the pod. And I want more of that. So keep the conversation going. If this helps you at all, or even if this just sparks something in you where you realize, oh my God, I've been living in the in-between. I think we'll call it the in-between. What is it called in Stranger Things? The upside down. The upside down. We've been living in the upside down. Okay. So we need to find the not upside down. I forget what I need to like The right side up? Yeah. I need to re-educate myself on the show, but definitely the upside down is what it was called. So being somewhere in the in-between, you are in the upside down. So get out of that and time to refocus our brains, be more productive, make more money, do the damn thing, and make 2025 the best possible year that it can be. Okay? All right. Thanks for tuning into today's episode. Share it with a friend if you loved it, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you, mean it. Bye.